Hello everyone, I am Amit Guptani, Assistant Professor in Mechanical Engineering Department at Dr. Subhash Technical Campus, Junagadh. I welcome you all on today's presentation related with the subject Industrial Engineering. In today's presentation, we will study about the topic Ergonomics. So before we begin our today's presentation on our topic, let us have an overview of today's presentation. The first topic that we will study, that is definition of ergonomics. The second topic that we will study, that is objectives of ergonomics. And third topic will be applications of ergonomics. So let us begin our presentation with our first topic, that is definition of ergonomics. So it is derived from two Greek words. Ergo plus norms is equal to ergonomics. Derived from two Greek words. Ergo plus norms, that is equal to ergonomics. Ergo means work and nomos means laws. Is equal to laws of work. So ergonomics is one which studies about laws of work. So let us see the definition of ergonomics. It is defined as a scientific study of the relationship between the man and his working environment. So it's a scientific study about the relationship between man and his working environment. It studies about the place at which the worker or man is working. How should be that place? About that it studies. How should be the working environment for the workers at their workplace? That study, that related study is called ergonomics. It can also be defined as science that deals with designing and arranging things in such a way that people feel easy and safe over there. So the place at which they are working, that should be safe, and it should be helping them to feel comfortable over there. They should be satisfied over there. The place at which they are working, the study or the designing of those places, or the relationship between a man and his working environment, that is called ergonomics. One more definition: designing the job to fit the worker, not forcing the worker to fit the job. So the place should be such that the worker will be happy to work over there, will be satisfied over there, and will comfortable at the place at which they are working. So that is what is studied by ergonomics, and it takes into the consideration various aspects. It combines the knowledge of psychologist. It takes the knowledge from physiologist, anatomist, and anthropologist. So in terms of psychologist, it studies about how human behaves, or it studies about human mind, that is called psychologist. So it takes knowledge from that perspective also. Physiologist means it studies about the working parts or normal moving parts or normal functions of their living organisms parts. That is also considered in psychologist. Then physiologists study about the normal functions of the parts of the living organisms. Then anatomist, it studies about the body structure of human beings. Then anthropologist studies about the behavior of the human being of their past and present. So all those knowledges are taken into the consideration by ergonomist. So that's all about the definition. Now we are going forward to our second topic of discussion, that is objectives of ergonomics. So what are the objectives of ergonomics? The first objective is to improve the relationship between people, equipments, workplace and environment. So as discussed, the place at which they are working, that is called workplace, and that at that place that operator, that human or that man have to deal with the machines, the equipment, tools, environment. So that should be kept in mind that place should be designed in such a way that the workers feel comfortable, they feel less strain, they feel less fatigue. So that should be kept in mind. So that is the first objective. The second objective is understand how the body works. Everyone has got different biological behaviors, different biological structures. So that should be kept in mind how that body works. There will be some general characteristics among the human beings. So that all those parts that must be taken into the consideration. The third objective is to increase work efficiency and productivity. So create such environment that where efficiency and productivity is increased. Create such a good environment, healthy environment. Then promote safety and comfort at workstation. So comfort and safety. So there should be some provisions of safety tools, safety firefighting facilities, all those things if there any accident occurs. And there should be comfortness, the place at which they are working. There should be provision of chairs, and those chairs should be adjustable, they should be flexible, they should be providing sufficient rest, that should be comfortable to them. Next is to reduce physical workloads. So there should be less amount of load that they should lift. Those all the considerations must be taken care. Next objective is to minimize the risk of injury and illness accidents without compromising productivity. So there must be taken care that there should be least an injury that should occur, the accidents that occur there should be least, and there should be all that should be not affecting their productivity. So such environment, such workplace should be designed. Now third topic of discussion is applications of ergonomics. It is applied at various areas. We will see 2 or 3 areas at which they are applied. First one is working environment, the place at which the workers work. They should be such that the working environment includes lighting facilities, climatic conditions, means the temperatures should be within the human tolerance. Noise should be less. There should not be bad odors, bad smells or unpleasant smells. Smokes, fumes, means gases which are exhausted. They should not be that much bad. One cannot, if one inhales, then it is bad for their health. And ultimately all the things should be taken care so that their health is not affected and efficiency is always more from the workers. Efficiency you will get that will be higher. So the first is daylight. If the person that are working in that workplace, the daylight is not that much sufficient, so there must be a facility to reinforce, or there must be some facilities such that artificial lights should be incorporated. Again, that depends upon the nature of work. If the work is too much complicated, then there must be provision of artificial lights also, if the daylight is not sufficient. Then comes environment. The environment should be well ventilated and comfortable. So that should be well ventilated. There should be sufficient amount of circulations of air, and well ventilated and comfortable. And dust and fume collectors. There may be some machines or some operations where the dusts are flowing or dusts are coming out, or fumes, means gases which are coming out, which are bad for health. So there should be provision of some or there should be some attachment of equipments which will collect over there only, and it will stop the spreading any further. So Dust and fume collectors should be preferably be attached with the equipment giving rise to them. So that collectors should be fixed to those equipments which gives rise to dust and fumes. Next, glares and reflections coming from glazed and polished surfaces should be avoided. So there should be suppose for example there are some materials on which suppose the sunshine falls on that particular material, then there is a reflection that comes back to the operators at which they are working. So such things or such materials or such places should be avoided, so that their eyes are not strained, and that material should be kept at proper place so that that reflection don't fall onto the eyes of the workers. So, or some polished materials which tend to reflect or which tend to shine so much, and that rays falls into the eyes of the workers, so that is bad for their eyes. So such materials, shining materials, should be kept away. Next application. If there are equipment with 5 parts, then it is for better perception. All those 5 parts should be colored differently. That should not be that dark, so that your eyes get strained. So for better perceptions, different parts of equipment should be colored suitably, so that colors should be colored accordingly to the different parts of equipments, which looks pleasant to the eyes and don't give any strain. There should be no much contrast color. There should be some light colors which will not give strain to the eyes. Then, as it is a factory, there will be a noise which will be there. So that noise should be within limit. If it is above 100 decibel, then it will be very much dangerous for the human beings. So there must be provision of some isolating or some sound absorbing materials which will help to absorb those loud or sudden noises, which will help the workers to work efficiently. Otherwise they will cause the headaches due to loud noise or high noises. It will cause headaches, it will give fatigue. So such provisions of materials also should be there at the place where there is high pitched voice or noise. Next area at which ergonomics is applied is workplace layout, a place at which the workers are accommodated. That may be in the form of sitting or standing. So place, it is a space in a factory which must accommodate an operator who may be sitting or standing. Then comes arranging your workspace. So how to arrange your workspace? That is divided into 3 zones. Each zone we will understand with the help of figure. There are 3 zones. First one is primary work zone, second one is secondary work zone, and third one is reference zone. So the place at which where you are working, you should arrange the tools around your desk in such a way that the distance, you minimize the distance you have to reach. Your hands, if you are supposed to reach the tools within your workplace, so you should arrange the tools in such a way that you have to travel less distance with your hand, or you have to move your hand to minimum distance. So first one is primary work zone. Third zone is reference zone, outside arm's reach. Use this zone for list often used items. So from the figure we can understand that, see, for example, there is a primary zone. For example, there is keyboard, so which we require all the times. We are always using keyboard for the operation of computers, for data entry or anything else. Then the secondary zone is the we have taken telephone, which we require frequently, but it is not necessary we are using all the time. So that should be again approachable. And third one is reference zone. We use that things list, it is not that much necessary, it is not frequently used. That may be visiting cards or some other stationary things like pins and that all things. So that is far away from the reach of your elbow. So the primary zone is one which distance from elbow to hand, things you touch on daily basis. And secondary, we use it frequently but not needed all the time, so we have taken example of telephone. And third one is outside arm's reach, where we have to stretch a bit to get that items, that is visiting cards and that all things. So tools, the place at which they are working on the work table, those tools which are frequently used, that should be easily approachable, that should be easily nearer to their hand. They should not be have to stretch for that. Then bench height and seat heights. So the place at which they are working, there must be provision of chairs, and those chairs should be adjustable. That should be having a back which should be providing them comfort, and the chair should be also be able to adapt different postures. If the worker requires to change his postures to complete the operation, then that chair, the chair that is available, that should be such that they can change their postures and accordingly the operations can be done. Their seats height can be adjustable. Such types of chairs should be suitable for them. Their back of the seat also should be adjustable. Then proper footrest should be also there. Armrest should also be there. All the factors will ultimately help them to give more efficient work, because if they are tired, then they are supposed to have a relaxation at that place. So that all the things should be considered in mind. Then display panels. If the worker is taking the readings, then the display panel should be arranged in such a way that it should be at the right angle of the worker. It should be at the right angle to the line of sight of the operator or worker. Exactly, it should be at the right angle to the line of sight of worker, so that he can easily read the readings on the display panel. That also we will understand with the help of figure. As shown in figure, you can see that the seat is adjustable. You can tilt also the seat's position. You can also adjust the back of the seat. Then at the front of the worker's eyesight, there is display panel. It should be at 90 degree to the line of sight. Then there should be a bench top where the workers can rest his arms, and a footrest also. So these all the factors that must be considered, or these are the areas at which ergonomics are applied, such that the worker should feel comfortable, should feel easy, should feel safe to work, and which will help them to work more efficiently. It will also reduce the stress level, the fatigue level, the tiredness. Okay, I hope this presentation would have helped you to understand the topic ergonomics.